All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family relationships, and recaps of some of our favorite shows. And this one is all about the reunion special for Put a Ring on It. So if this is content that you enjoy, and we have a lot of other things coming up ahead, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like, subscribe, notifications, and share. There we go. All right. So, as you all know, if you've been watching the show, watching our recaps, we are at the end. We've had decision day, and as far as what was left at the last episode, Jessica and Eric are engaged. LaRhonda and Shon are engaged, and as we all know, Darrion and Alexia are done after 14 years. So, it's hosted again by Egypt. Dr. Nicole's there. And so we're going to just check in with each of the couples. Y'all know which one we got to get to, because a mess. A hot mess. She's speechless on it. All right. So, Alexia she looked salty throughout it, right? And Darrion made a comment before they kind of got into it, saying that his gut was telling him everything to do. And we know how his gut was responding.
Right.
But let's talk about Shon and LaRhonda first. They are definitely engaged.
Correct. They're engaged. And so at this point, they're working on each other and working individually. So it looks like they're decided to go to some counseling, which is good,
Absolutely.
right? Since they are deciding to make that full commitment.
Yeah. And then, of course, some of their previous dates show up. So Brittany shows up, and she's without, I almost didn't recognize her without the braids that she had, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then Sir James.
Yes.
And Derek show up.
To the child. Why would you do that? But Sir James, or Sir, that would be his first name,
right,
came to the house, and he's like, I got a confession. I thought you were her child. I was like, how many children you meeting with full beards?
Right.
Like, and how old do you think she is that have a child that will have a full beard?
Right.
Now, I mean, I get it. I mean, my son, 18, he got a full beard, pretty much. But I'm like, what? How would she be 18 and be in her? Well, anywho,
right.
I guess it's all possible. So
it was kind of a jab though too.
It was kind of
a jab.
It was a kind of jab, but Sir James, given by his name, you can tell he's that type of dude.
And then Shon tried to punch back and was like, look who's talking. You play flag football at age 40.
And he was like, what's wrong with that? I mean, he keeps in shape. So I was like,
okay, all I know is I don't think Shon want that smoke.
Shon don't want that smoke.
Shon is one of those guys.
Don't want that smoke.
He gonna tell jokes to try and get you off, but the moment it comes to putting hands,
you don't got that time to get that many cues in that.
Yeah, Shon need his brothers on that one. Shon ain't got that. All right, and then Brittany said that her date with Shon, her third date, was a little misleading.
Right. And we kind of caught that when it was actually being seen. Because even LaRhonda was like, why would you tell her you're going to go to Florida with her? So I think those are the things that Shon ends up getting so invested in when he meets somebody that he doesn't know how to be himself without overcommitting.
And have his boundaries, but not have his boundaries be like overwhelming to where he's scared to make take any steps, right?
Right.
So,
interesting.
Now, Derek, though.
Derek was a solid dude. And I think if LaRhonda, had met Derek first, Shon would be a friend.
She said, if Shon wasn't in the picture, if he got taken out by Sir James playing football, she said if he wasn't in the picture, that now this is the word she said. She said that Derek would be on her roster. Like she got a football team, a basketball team, or something that
she got a list of backups.
But and they even talked about, and I think a lot of us, those of you that are watching this, I think a lot of us felt that Derek and LaRhonda would have probably made a good couple, right? Not saying that her and Shon aren't going to make it, what have you, but yeah, we could see that there was something there.
Right.
And
Well,
they could even connect on a professional level.
yeah, I mean, like a networking level,
Right.
and maybe that's what's the draw, because at the end of the day, opposites attract.
Right.
And so when you find someone in your profession, that can get a little old if you're only talking about work and stuff.
True.
So it sounds like Derek is not really her type, because be honest, she picked Shon, who is more a little bit more he's funny, gives her the joke,
Right.
something totally different.
But she, there was also a statement about her enabling his emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the way I took that, and let me know what you think, but I took that as almost like, in some respects, she is, I hate to use the term mothering, but that's kind of what it
Oh
came
yeah.
off was.
Oh yeah.
And so then it's almost like there's a different dynamic than maybe she would have had with Derek.
And that's the thing. If she's attracted to men,
That she got a mother.
that she has the mother, because
And
she's
maybe that's what Sir James was picking up on.
maybe so. I mean, that's true. That's a good point. Because if you're a boss and you feel like you need to be bossy at home,
Right.
you want a man that's not going to be as dominant
Right.
in that fashion.
Who's gonna cry and almost throw up because you went out on a date.
Right.
All right.
So, yeah.
So
Hey,
all right.
they're working on each.
They are. They're still but they're still together.
Mm-hmm.
They are still. They don't have an official date yet, but they are still together. So good for them. And then Jessica and Eric, they are also still together.
Yep.
No date.
No.
But they show of course the montage of them, and once again you see Jessica putting her, touching on Sean's chest.
Yeah.
Right.
On the.
And you also see Leilani touching
Yep.
Eric. And of course, where is the attention drawn? The attention is on, well, why did Leilani put her hands on him when she was doing the same thing?
Right. Well, this is the thing though. It wasn't her catching Eric rubbing up on Leilani.
Right.
So she has nothing to be mad at.
Right.
He kept his arms and his hands to himself.
Yes.
And so you can't be mad at him. He kept his hands to himself.
Right.
Now, he likes infection. So he's going to allow her to give infection as long as it didn't go, too far.
Right.
So
Leilani and Shon show up, which were
Correct.
two of their dates that they had. Shon was pretty confident. He's like, look, if Eric wasn't in the picture, it'd be on.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed attracted to her. He wanted to continue. But I think for him, also for Shon, talking about the dates, I think it sounded like he may have given up on finding the right person. And so maybe this has sparked something in him to continue to date and find someone that he could have a potential relationship with.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. All right. And then Leilani talks about her time with Eric. And she basically was like, she was attracted to him. There's a vibe there, what have you. But she also was like, he did like, and he was committed to.
She could tell that Eric was committed to Jessica.
Right.
And when they talked about trips, when Jessica was like, how you gonna take trip? And Lonnie's like, no, boo-boo.
He was talking about you.
He was talking about you.
Yeah.
So again, when you're so quick to think that he wants to be with someone else, he really wants to be with you. Right. And so...
Well, it's in my opinion, it's a combination of Jessica's insecurity and her projection. Because I think she projects some things. Because remember, yes, even though Eric and Jessica met and Eric was seeing multiple people at the same time, when he settled on Jessica.
Right.
And when he and Jessica had a falling out, Jessica within a week stepped out and went to one of his, what we understand, one of his teammates or something. Someone else. It was somebody else as far as an athlete, right?
Yeah, someone he was familiar with.
Right.
But it goes back to, if he's not affirming and he's saying things and calling her out of her name. True. And mentioning her other profession, it only projects what she already thinks of herself. Right. She had a mother that would be called in the right lifestyle. Right. So for her, it was just another sign of rejection and abandonment. So I can see how her trauma could put her in a situation where she wanted to feel affirmed by going to another man.
Gotcha. So. Okay. All right. And then the couple y'all know. This has been probably the thing that everybody has been looking forward to.
Wasn't seeing that getting more season. Information. Yeah. I was not expecting this.
Yeah, I didn't think that they would last from the beginning. Mm-hmm. There were times that I thought that Darrion, and you can go back and watch our recaps, mm-hmm. There were times that I thought that Darrion was at least making an effort to do the work. But let me tell you, that boy is delusional.
Yeah, I think he really needs to really focus on himself.
Yeah.
And make sure he gets the mental help he needs, because there may be some deficiency there. I don't see how you place yourself and you're still not being truly honest.
Right.
Because he asks you how many times you slept with. I don't care if it's in one day and in 2 hours.
Right.
How many times have you had sex? He couldn't come up with that.
Right. He
indicated to the producers he want to get back with her and put a ring. Man, you messed up. She don't want any more part of it, right. But then you still got Kai in the background, mm-hmm. waiting on you, thinking that she's going to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And you're telling her, excuse me, all crazy stuff.
You all right over there?
I know.
All right, y'all know we do this one take. This is what we do. All right,
called life.
It's a hiccup. Yeah, you'll be okay. All right, but yeah, Alexia was holding back tears for the first part of the conversation, right? And she says, "Look, had there not been a closure meeting, they would probably be on that stage right there talking about they were engaged, right? So she's grateful to the process because it exposed a lot of what she had in her gut,
right."
As far as what was happening. And I think the thing that really hurt for her more so was not just the loss of the relationship, but she kind of mentions that they were friends.
Right.
So it's one thing to have a relationship go sour, right? But then it's the duality of this was also my friend.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, you would think if anybody had your back, your friend would have your back. Like, you'll tell me up front, like, you know what? This is not working. We're going through this process. I don't feel like we're going to be able to take the next steps. Mm-hmm. But you position it in a way where you feel like now we're fully immersing in the next chapter of our life.
Right.
Because she felt that way.
Right.
So she thought it was going to go somewhere.
Right.
And so for it to take this big curveball, I get it. It's a loss of a lot of things.
Yeah.
A loss of years, a loss of friendship. Yeah.
Loss of other opportunities that might have been there that she was not taking, right? And he said that he said that the reason that he slept with Kai was because Alexia wasn't having sex with him. And Alexia was like, first he was like, good sex, right? And Alexia was like, well, hold on. I just was holding out on you because I felt you were cheating.
Right.
And then when it's confirmed, it's like, yeah, it was smart on her part.
Well, she don't want to get an STD. When you decide you're going to, if she felt that he was sleeping around and his choice of women is not the best because he makes just wrong choices. Why am I going to sleep with you and potentially get something that's going to cause me more heartache when you leave? It stays with me.
Right.
So I get it. And I don't understand why he didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So
Kai does show up also.
Yes.
There was nobody for Alexia because Alexia really didn't have a great connection with any of her dates.
No,
I think the one that she played basketball with was probably the best one.
Right.
But it was too little too late. Right.
Well, and we ain't had enough time because we needed to hear from Kai. So.
Right. And so, because that took up a whole thing. So Kai shows up and Darrion says that Kai was a breath of fresh air, that, she was peaceful for him, what have you. And I did touch on that. I did say that for men, we do need a place where there can be peace, right? But that doesn't mean that just because peace happens outside means that I automatically run to that. I want to try and establish peace where I am, right?
Well, but when it happens, it can vary, right?
Right.
Like, so it doesn't always end up in sex.
Right.
But there's people who get caught up emotionally as well. So I think if we want to focus just on Kai for a moment, because she was saying, well, she don't feel like Alexia's issue, her feelings have anything to do with her. I think you should always be responsible if you know someone's in a relationship.
Right.
You try to make sure it's totally broken off first. Right. Saying, you know what, I am interested in it. I want to see where this goes, but you have to make a decision who it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be, and that's how you know when it's not on a rebound.
Right.
Because Kai's hearing all this like, oh, you didn't know, like right after I broke it off, a whole week he blown up production and producers talking about, I want to give her a ring on TV. And it's like, so it's all about giving her a ring on TV.
Right.
It's about you being seen.
Right.
And not about your relationship.
There are a lot of things in there that seem to indicate to me that Darrion was trying to play some of these parts out, or at least script some of these parts out for show. Because there was a statement that Alexia said where he said that he was going to go on 3 dates with Kai to make it, seem interesting, what have you, right?
Right.
So Darrion is also trying to script out this thing, because let's just be honest. He told so many lies, he couldn't figure out which one he needed to hold to, which one, because it was just, it was a lot of things that he said. And then when Kai came out, there was a question where Kai was asked, okay, when did you all start sleeping together? And she's looking to Darrion for the answer, which means to me that she's like, it probably happened before, but she wanted to make sure that the story was straight as far as what he had said.
Right, because it could have been the first date.
Very well could have.
I mean, it could have, so, but everyone's grown. And she walked in a situation where she knew that, he was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think, I still believe Alexia is the biggest person here, because she's like, I don't have any problems with you,
right?
Per se, maybe 2%, because you knew he was my man at the time. Right. So, but the 98% is on this dude right here.
Right.
And I think that's another problem with women, that they put all their pain and hate and social media attacks on the woman, but your man decided to put his penis in somebody else. He did.
He did.
So now if you want to take him back, that's good.
Right.
But don't be a percentage higher than what she should have been given.
Right.
Because
again, the thing also is that Kai is operating off the information that Darrion is telling her about Alexia.
Exactly.
And Alexia is operating off the information that Darrion is telling her about Kai. So their whole source of information is coming from one tainted place.
Exactly.
And so because of that, yes, the fact that Alexia is saying, you know what, 98% is with Darrion, 2% is with Kai, very valid. Absolutely.
I feel like it's valid.
I mean, I'm not.
The majority is with the dude.
I give her a little more. I didn't even give her a bill.
That's what I'm saying. The majority is with the dude.
Right.
Now you can give her a little bit more percentage, but at the end of the day, he had to bring her to the condo.
He knew
he had the keys to the condo.
Right.
He had to drive her and tell her where the address was.
Yeah.
To the condo.
Right.
So he should be the majority of fault.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, she, Alexia just coming to the impression like, dude, you all over the place. You saying all this stuff and you're saying one thing to her. I'm glad it's over. She can finally close that chapter, start a new chapter in life, and then start dating and finding someone.
And then Kai did say the other thing that Kai said that I was like, okay, this is why I understand why someone may have a problem with you. She said she didn't feel she did anything wrong sleeping with someone else's man. So if that's how you get down, that's how you get down.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
But to say that you feel nothing wrong with that means that she was open to it from the beginning, and who knows, she may do it again with someone else's person. She doesn't care. So
that's what she says, but you can't tell by the way she acted.
She did storm out.
She stormed out. So obviously finding out what Darrion, and maybe it's more about what Darrion said than her. Right. But at the end of the day, you don't get that way just grow up that way. I think, again, we come back to the same issues. If we're not willing to work on ourselves and the things that make us callous and make us do things that we wouldn't.
You said callous.
It's callous,
Yeah.
because once you become so wounded in one spot,
Right.
it creates a scab. It gets hard in that area. But what you learn from a callus, it continues just to be a callus. It never heals.
Right.
Until you can get into a soft place where you can allow it to heal.
Until you work on that.
And guess what? A callus is removed,
Yeah.
So.
Look at you making that analogy.
Hey.
All right. So that's pretty much it. Dr. Nicole gives some final words to, of course, Darrion and Alexia. She's like, heal yourself before you go into another relationship.
Right.
Heal yourself.
Right.
Because Darrion did say he was in a relationship with Kai, but I don't know if that's the facts after this reunion special. So
I don't know. He seems like he has to be in a relationship. So we'll see if he'll work on himself so he can be the man he needs to be in the relationship.
Or who he envisions himself to be, because who he envisions himself and who he actually is are two different things. Eric and Jessica are working on their home, building a home in Orlando. So that's pretty much it for this season of Put a Ring on It. We'll see if they get picked up for a third season. Let us know what you think. And then definitely make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, because one of our other shows is coming back soon, Ready to Love. That's the one that started it all for us as far as doing recaps.
Yeah.
So make sure you're subscribed for that. Check out some of the other videos. Got other tips coming as well. That's it for this season of Put a Ring on It as far as our recaps, but we got a lot more coming, so stay tuned. All right. Well, that's it. Be blessed. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.